Kodjo, and I'm the founder and CEO of PickUpLater. Before anything, let me tell you a quick story about one of our customers, Nicole. A couple of weeks ago, Nicole went on PickUpLater.com for the first time and ordered groceries. I personally went to the store, shopped for Nicole, and delivered her groceries within 2 hours. She greeted me with a large smile and said that I was a lifesaver because she had a newborn in her arms and she didn't have any nanny, so she told me that she couldn't go anywhere. And so that experience, plus many others, really make me truly appreciate the value of the service that we're providing to our customers. And so you've guessed it, we're a delivery service that allows you to order groceries online and pick them up later from the store, hence the name PickUpLater, or have them delivered to your house within 2 hours. And so the problem is pretty obvious. Grocery shopping really sucks, right? Yes. It sucks not only for families with young children like Nicole, it sucks for busy professionals like yourselves. It sucks for older people that have to carry those heavy grocery bags, but it also sucks for disabled individuals. And the market that we're targeting is pretty large, $23 billion spent annually in online grocery deliveries alone. And it's projected to grow at a fast clip to $100 billion only 5 years from now. And so obviously it's a pretty attractive market for venture capital. The way it works is pretty simple. You go online, you order, we dispatch your order to a personal shopper that runs to the store, shops for you, delivers your groceries within 2 hours. In return, you pay us for delivery fee plus a markup. As you can see, the competitive landscape, we have many competitors, but a lot of them are in adjacent market. And the one that pops out of the screen here is FreshDirect. How do we differentiate ourselves from FreshDirect? Pretty easy, 2 ways. First, FreshDirect, it's a pretty high cost business to run. Operationally, they have multi-million-dollar warehouse facility. They have inventory, trucks, drivers on payroll, etc. We don't have any of that. That means we can launch new markets relatively fast. Number two, FreshDirect, quite frankly, cannot do what we do. They can't deliver the same day. You've tried it, I'm sure. We can deliver as quickly as 2 hours. Our closest competitors, though, is a company called Instacart. They came out of San Francisco, California. And they've raised about $275 million of capital. So how do we compete with Instacart? Well, we said we're not going to go head on against Instacart. With that amount of firepower, Instacart is going after the larger format stores like Whole Foods, Safeway, BJ Wholesale, Costco, etc. We're saying that we're going to go after the underserved community of mom and pop stores, and we can discuss the reasons for that choice in the Q&A. But quite frankly, the market is large enough for 2 players. We've been operational in beta for the last 6 months. With a single store and 0 marketing, we've done over 100 deliveries, and our customers really give us positive feedback, as demonstrated by the average basket size trending up and the 60+% repeat customer rate. Over the last few weeks, though, we've secured, as we're transitioning out of beta, we've secured multiple partnerships with supermarkets here in New York City that can help us generate between $3 and $5 million alone. We have those partnerships secured already. We're looking for capital to be able to turbocharge that growth and roll up those stores pretty quickly. The team, I have a finance background. I was on Wall Street for a decade, and I recently left my job. I've invested over $100,000 of my own capital. The company is debt-free. Amadou Daf is our lead engineer. He is not new to the startup world. He's heading a startup company in Africa, a developer outsourcing company that's already generating free cash flow positive after 3 years. And Brianna Severson, she's our marketing genius, and she'd work on projects like Jet.com. I'm sure, Stephanie, you're familiar with Jet. In 5 years, we plan to reach about $25 million of earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. And if you put a conservative 14 to 15 time multiple on that, we should be a $350 million company. Just to give you a ballpark, Instacart, our most direct competitor, is already worth $2 billion in just 2 short years. And so just in final, on a personal note, I came to this country from Africa 15 years ago with $200 in my pocket, no friends, no family members here, speaking very little English. Over the last 15 years, though, I've worked really hard, busted my butt, landed a job as an investment banker, left that job, joined a hedge fund where only 6 of us were helping managing about $2 billion of asset. I left all of that to devote my time to PickUpLater, and I want you guys to believe me enough to join me help the millions of Nicoles out there spend more time with their kids, because quite frankly, let's face it, grocery shopping sucks. Thank you.
How do you find and qualify your drivers?
So we use what everybody else is using right now, Craigslist. And so we advertise on Craigslist, and you'll be surprised. We get many responses, and so we have to make sure that the personal shopper lives close enough to the store that they're shopping at, but also can deliver quickly enough to the customer within 2 hours.
And how are they compensated?
We pay them $10 per delivery, and they get the tips from the customer. So here, the $12 in cost of goods sold includes the $10, but it doesn't include the tip because the average order of 65 doesn't include the tip. So they can get between $14 and $18 per delivery.
So I've invested in a number of logistics companies, including one right in the next block called Hounnake Delivery. Logistics companies require really strong operators or people with operational experience. So who on your team has that experience?
So we're still building the team, but Amadou Duff, he's from Senegal originally. He lives here in New York, and he has a company called Coders for Africa. It's an outsourced developer company based in Africa. And we have people on their team right now that are tackling that. But I think that with the capital that I will be raising, my goal is to be able to build a team to be able to handle the logistics for all the stores that we have currently signed partnerships with.
So you said that you don't service tier 1 or whatever you refer to them, large chains. So what are the stores, say, in Manhattan that you pick up groceries from?
So right now, as I mentioned, we were in beta for the last 6 months with a single store in Long Island City called Food Cellar. It's an organic grocery store, 27,000 square foot. So it's slightly smaller than Whole Food, but it's organic. And so that's the store that we are currently running our beta at. They're opening a second store, and we're getting that as well. And right now we have secured partnerships with Met Food, with Bravo, and a lot of other companies that I can't really say here, but I'm happy to tell you offline.
How did you, so with the Long Island store, your pilot right now, how did you acquire customers that the first 100 runs that you did?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that we had zero marketing, right? So what we did was we contacted the property managers in Long Island City and said, listen, Long Island City is booming, but we don't have enough grocery stores. So why don't you send an email to your tenants and say that, you don't have to walk 25 minutes to the grocery store anymore. You can use PickUpLater, and they will deliver your groceries within 2 hours. Some property managers did it, some didn't really want to do it, and so that was the free marketing that we got. So far, that has helped us deliver over 100 orders.
And how do you plan to continue to acquire customers?
Brianna Severson is our digital marketer, and she is running some A/B testing on Facebook and Google AdWords. She's very familiar with that, but we'll be doing some guerrilla marketing as well. We'll be printing out thousands of flyers, and we've run the math down to, how many flyers, 36,000 flyers for, 10 people, handing out flyers 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening for $10 an hour. It's $12,000 for 100 days. So we've run the math for all those things.
What's the user interface like, and how are you managing the thousands of SKUs that a grocery store houses?
So the user interface is pretty user-friendly. So as you can see here, you find the groceries that you will see in the store on PickUpLater. The way we do that is when it's necessary to partner with the store. They allow you then to take pictures of their inventory because they do not have those images. And so we put those pictures on PickUpLater. We categorize them, which is a humongous task. I think it's one of the barriers to entry here. That's why a lot of the companies are focusing on restaurant food delivery versus groceries. And so we make it very easy for the customers to go down department, sub-department, be able to find the product. It's a three-step process that's pretty easy to do.
So by going to smaller chains, you don't have the benefit of a standard SKU set like a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's might have. How do you plan on scalably entering more chains as you go across the country?
What we find is we chose to target the mom and pop stores for two reasons. The first one, the decision-making process from smaller stores is much faster than a Whole Food where you have to go through a corporate chain ladder and it might take 6 to 8 months. And number two, the cost of onboarding a mom and pop store is pretty fast. Now, to address your question specifically, you'll be surprised how many mom and pop stores know each other. And so what they do is, what they're telling us is, hey, Kodjo, if you do really well in my store, I have cousins that own 13 stores. They're waiting to see how well we do. And so I think it's going to be word of mouth in a specific location, and then we move on to the next geography where we will spend a little bit of money to acquire the first store, and then it goes really fast.
But how are you onboarding the different items within the store? Like as you move to another store, like have you modeled the cost of taking all the pictures and bringing on their inventory?
Yes. So assuming that a store has 10,000 well, your question, let me address it two ways. The cost of onboarding an incremental store is much lower than the cost of onboarding the previous store because a lot of the stores have the same, almost the same inventory. And so what happens is if you take a picture of a Pepperidge farm bread, you no longer have to take it at the second store that you onboard. And so over time, your cost of onboarding the nth store is going to be zero. But the cost to onboard a store right now is about $2,500. And the way to get there is, if a store has 10,000 items, and you take pictures of those 10,000 items, you need people to do that. And then you have somebody to Photoshop those pictures. That costs some money. I can break down the math, but the cost to onboard one store right now is about $2,500. But as we move on, the cost of acquiring incremental stores on our platform, all the stores that we currently partner with, will be radically lower than that $2,500.
Okay. I think we're out of time here, so thank you.